Hey guys, so today I thought we could do a full face of Wet n Wild makeup. So I'm really excited to try this out, and I just really like Wet n Wild. I think that it's a great drugstore brand. Growing up, if I needed something, because I didn't really know what I was doing with makeup growing up, it was always, well, if I needed something, I would go to Wet n Wild because, it was cheap and it was, available in Walmart, and you would just go pick it up and it would just be simple and easy. And so that would be one of the reasons I would choose it. But at the same time, it was always, growing up, just that I associated it with being cheap. However, now in my adult life, they have some amazing products, and I'm not just saying that, like, they truly do have some amazing products. And for the cost, like, you just can't really beat it at the drugstore. And I know that I've done other drugstore foundations and things that are just really top-notch and wonderful, but truly you just cannot beat Wet n Wild at the drugstore. So today I wanted to just kind of try some of that out with you and show you what I've been using and what it's been working for me. I was gonna do this as like a first impression thing of what I thought of as I was using it for the first time. I actually filmed that video, and I was gonna do a wear test, and I had some issues with my eye. I never got to finish my wear test. Yeah, it was just, it didn't end up how I wanted it to. So I actually wore this makeup for a couple of days actually to work, so I've seen how it wears, an 8-hour work day and everything, so I know I can attest to its effectiveness. So that's why I wanted to just do a new video and just tell you how it's done for me, how it's worked out for me, and just share that with you. So I have a wild curl that just wants to stick out. So the first thing, I think I've used this in my drugstore video before, but it's something that's really good that I really love. It's the Coconut 3-in-1 Primer, primer water. They have this in a rose and a cucumber, I believe. But I just love the cucumber. I just love the coconut scent because it just reminds me of summer. Like, I just love coconut everything. It just smells so good. Like, it just reminds me of, the beach and the pool and happier times. So I wanted to use this first, and I actually may use just another primer for mattifying, and I'll tell you about that, but I don't have one from Wet n Wild that mattifies. So but let's use this first. This is the Coconut 3-in-1 Primer Water. You can prep, set, and refresh. So let's use this real quick. Smells so good. And I like to take my mirror and just fan myself. So just in order to kind of like mattify, because we know how oily I can be, I want to use this really quickly just because it's like one of my favorite drugstore primers. I've talked about it before. It's One Heck of a Blot from Soap and Glory. Got it from Target. Love it. I just kind of want to do some pore filling and mattifying, so that's why I'm going to use this T-Zone. Absolutely one of my favorite drugstore primers. I will always repurchase that. Unless I find something better. This is going to be one of my favorites, just because it not only does the mattifying, but it's also really good for pores. It has pore shrink technology. So if there's anything I've tried that is really good from the drugstore that I recommend, it would be this. And I'm gonna throw it on the floor. But it's really good. I promise you won't regret. And the reason I wanted to use a mattifying primer is because I'm going to try, I've already tried this, but I'm going to use today, I'm going to use the Photo Focus foundation, but I'm also, it's going to be the Dewy. And I've tried the Dewy. I don't know if it's been 2 or 3 days that I've worn it. I think it's been a week since I did my other video where I was going to do a wear test. So I think like 2 or 3 days this week I wore this. It's good stuff. I actually don't mind this little spatula that it comes with. I think it's kind of a neat little way to put it on your face. So I'm going to use my Real Techniques. It's kind of dirty, but I did wash it and dampen it. But I'm going to use my Real Techniques sponge. This came from Walmart, and these are really good. I really like these sponges. The only other kind that I like, I don't even know what I did with it. I don't see it here. That would be comparable, that would be just as cheap, is a Juno & Co sponge. It has like microfibers on it. That's really nice. So I like that sponge a lot. And then I think ColourPop's got some nice sponges. I've not tried them personally, but I've heard people talk about how good they are. I'm also in the color Soft Beige. I tried Nude Ivory in just the regular Photo Focus, and it was just a little bit too light for me, so I got that. Was my first purchase. Then I ended up with the regular Photo Focus in Soft Beige, and then I would mix the two. This actually isn't too bad of a color match for me, so I ended up using it. So I believe that this is definitely like a medium coverage. It's not totally full coverage, but it builds really nice. And so what I do is I put just a little bit extra on my cheeks and my nose, because that's where my redness is. The reason I did that, I just wanted you to see that it is buildable. You can build the coverage up. So you know that even though it is a medium coverage, you don't have to worry about it, you know, not covering what you need it to cover. So it's dewy. That's what it says on the packaging. It's a dewy foundation, and of course I don't expect anything different. We all know that I'm an oily girl. Why would I like a dewy foundation? Well, I don't know really. I do know. I know that it just really gives me extra hydration, and I found that I really like the look of my skin if it's hydrated. Period. I just like the look of my skin when it's hydrated. And so the reason that I like the dewy foundation is for that cause. So on the back here it says that it's hydrates and smooths complexion for a luminous finish. Buildable coverage is what I just said, for normal to dry skin. So it doesn't mention oily or combo skin. So take it with a grain of salt, because everybody's going to be different in their preferences, in their skin types. I can be oily and somebody else can be oily and have completely different preferences on what they want in their skincare, and not their skincare, but in their foundation. So you know, just take that to heart. Just know that it's not going to be a matte finish by any means. You can see how dewy it is, but it's not a luminous, like glowy, like glittery finish, because I know a lot of like dewy things can be that way and this is not. So this is the Photo Focus concealer, and it's also Wet n Wild. It's in the shade Light Honey, and it's a little bit too dark, but I'm still going to use it. I'm not crazy about this concealer, I will tell you that. It's not as light as I normally go, but I end up having to dip back in a lot so I can see it, like me using it up pretty quickly. However, it is inexpensive, so you just kind of have to weigh how often you're going to buy it, how much it is, all those good things. So just things to note. So again, it's the Photo Focus Concealer in the shade Light Honey. I think I just purchased the wrong color. I don't know why I purchased this color. It sounded good, I guess, on the website when I looked. Alright, so this next product I've used quite a bit as well. It's the Wet n Wild Color Icon Bronzer, and it's not actually a bronzer, it's more like a highlight, but it looks like this. It's in the shade Reserve Your Cabana. I love this so much. I've been using it a lot, like a lot. And the reason that I've been using this a lot, and so much so that I decided I needed to repurchase it. Well, it's not available on the Wet n Wild website anymore. It's not available in stores that I can find. So I kind of got a little, oh no. But I found it on eBay, and you can only get it in like a set of 3. So I have this to finish, which is getting close to pan, because I can see the rings from the pan. I don't know if you can tell, but I can see the rings in there. And also 3 more. So I'm set on this for a little bit. So if you're having trouble finding it and you'd like some, try eBay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this little Wet n Wild brush. I've used it before. I think it's more for like foundation, but I've been using it to put this on, and it's working really well. So I just dip into it, and then I put it under my eyes just to set my concealer. Then I hit those places I put concealer as well, because I'm highlighting them. So this is a highlighter. It's more like a brightening powder than a highlighter. I don't want you to think like I'm putting a shimmery highlighter under my eyes, because that's not what I'm doing. I like it so much I like to put too much on, and I have to stop myself. Gotta quit that. I like to put too much. I just do. I don't know why. It just has a really nice sheen to it. But then I also got this, and it's the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Pressed Powder. It's in the shade Warm Light. That's what it looks like. And I'm just going to take this big Wet n Wild brush, swirl it around in there, set the rest of my face that I did not set with the Reserve Your Cabana. And I love this powder. I feel like it's really good for the pores. Like, it really helps with those. It's a really nice powder. I like it a lot. Just a kind of translucent, not really translucent, but you know, it has a little color to it. This next one I've had for a little bit because I've hit pan on it. It's the Wet n Wild Color Icon Bronzer in this shade Sunset Striptease. I've actually broken the little thing on it, but it's a really, really pretty color. I like it a lot. So next we're going to do blush, and this is the Color Icon blush, and it is in the shade Nudist Society. Sorry for all these crazy names. Sorry, I thought I heard somebody coming in my door. My husband will be soon, I think. So I just like to somebody mentioned to me the other day about like I had changed the placement of my blush, and I have, and there's a reason. I do my blush, I used to do it kind of like on the apples of my cheeks and back. However, putting it on the apples of my cheeks, it was accentuating my big fat cheeks. So instead of doing that, I've been doing it more in like an angle, like how I do my contour at an angle. I just take the blush right over top of it, and this just helps my face look a little bit longer instead of so round. And so it's just a strategic thing. It's more contour than anything else, but that's why I've kind of changed that up a little bit. Now, if you have a more elongated face, do the apples of the cheeks and, you know, make it look more rounded. So, because if you have a elongated face and you do your cheek color like this, then you're going to make it look longer. So, this is a beautiful color. I don't know if you can see. I'm sorry, I don't have my contacts in, so if I squint, that's why. But it has some gold reflect in it. It's really pretty. It just really warms the skin up. And it's buildable, like you can put as much or as little as you want. And then this is something kind of new. It's the Hello Halo Blush Lighter, and it's in the shade After Sex Glow. Again, sorry for these crazy names. This is what it looks like. This is supposed to be a blush, and this is supposed to be a highlighter. However, I like to mix the two together, and they're really pretty. So I got this new brush I'm going to try out today. Look at that.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
Get from behind
look at that.
And you can't do it.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
But I really like this. I think it's so pretty. The colors are just absolutely amazing. You can use one or the other or use both. And I think that they look really good together. Sorry, my hair's all over. But it's just like a nice, like, subtle glow in a way. You can build it up and make it look a little bit more popping, you know. But I like to just do subtly. And then even I like to take my brush that I did my powder with, just kind of go back over and blend. So this has been my favorite brow product from Wet n Wild here for the last little bit. It's the Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Retractable Brow Pencil. And I've been using the color Taupe. I could probably go a little bit darker. When I bought this, I think my hair was a little bit lighter. But I still don't think it's a horrible color for me. But you can see it's like a triangle on the end. Sorry. I don't mean to block you if I am with the mirror. But I've actually come to find that I really like these types of pencils because it makes doing the eyebrows like super quick. So I fill them in with the Taupe pencil, and because my hair is a little bit darker and I need just a tiny bit more definition, I have this Ultimate Brow Micro Brow Pencil. It's from Wet n Wild as well, and it doesn't have a color on here. but I'm pretty sure it's just like brown, medium brown, dark brown, I don't know. And I just like to go in and give a little bit more definition. So see how I gave this one just a tiny bit more definition? It's a little bit darker. That's why I do this. I have a little bit of a bushy brow. I'm going to clean my brows up on the bottom with a little bit of concealer. And that's done. I don't have a Wet n Wild primer for the eyes, so I'm just going to use a little bit of my e.l.f. primer. Sorry, I should have thought about it, but I didn't. I can't just run out to the drugstore and purchase one, so we're just gonna make do. I don't have like a creamy white shade to set my eyes with, so I'm just gonna go back in with this Photo Focus pressed powder and just set my eyelids real quick. I got a couple of different eyeshadow quads. This first one, I think it was like less than $2. It was like $1.97 or something. It's so pretty. It has some beautiful colors in it. This is probably the one I'm going to use today. It's called Fit for a Queen. It's just gorgeous. I love it. And then I also got this one called Bed of Roses. It's beautiful because it has like actual roses stamped into the pan, which I think is so cute. And it's just beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. But I think I'm just going to use the other one because I like those colors better with what I'm wearing today. So I'm just going to go in. These shades are actually labeled, which is really nice. If you're a beginner with makeup, this would really help, you know, you learn with that. And it also has like a look on the back for you to copy. So I'm just going to go in with this one. It's marked transition, but of course I would use it as a transition anyway. This is a blending brush from e.l.f. Starting on that outer corner, blending in. Now that I got that one blended in, there is a little bit of kick up in the pan, but for a $2 quad, I can't really complain. So then I'm going to dip into this one, this red one that's actually labeled crease, and I want to put it in the crease. They're very pigmented, so be very careful when you are dipping in. I'm also going to put it in the outer corner, like that outer V. While we're here, I'm just going to go ahead and take this liner brush and dip into that same shade and just take it underneath my eye, right up against the lash line. Dipping back into the transition just to blend that out. Then we're going to go in with this on the eyelid. I think I'll just do my finger. It's a beautiful gold color. I don't mean to put that mirror in y'all's face. I'm sorry about that. I'm just blind and I have to see. Love that gold. I'm going in that corner with just a tiny little brush just to make sure I get in what I can't reach with my finger. Okay, now I'm just going to go into this color, the pinkish. It's a pink color, but it has some gold in there too. I'm just going to put that on the brow bone. Okay, there's the eyes. I think they look really good for a $2 palette. I mean, come on. Doesn't get much better. Okay, we're almost finished, guys. So this was something new that I tried. It is the Wet n Wild Mega Slim Skinny Tip Liner. And it is super skinny. Super, super skinny. I'm not a fan of this liner. I almost messed my whole eye look up there. I got a really thick line. It's a skinny tip and it shouldn't have been that hard. It doesn't dry down completely matte, so I'm not crazy about it. Just, it's not my favorite. It's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. I also picked up the Mega Slim Skinny Mascara in waterproof. The first time I used it, I did not like this mascara, but it has since grown on me. Alright, I'm done. I like the mascara. It's really good. It takes a little bit of extra time just because the wand on it is like super small. See that? It's really, really good for the bottom lashes though. So that's one good thing about it. So if you're going to use like falsies, it'll be really good for those. I didn't have a lip that was Wet n Wild, so I just picked up my Morphe lipstick in the shade Wifey, put that on. So all in all, I love all these products that I used. There's not one thing that I'm not happy with. I think the Wet n Wild just really knocks it out of the park, to be quite honest. They have some great products and they're definitely worth the money, and they don't have a high price tag on their stuff. So I'm gonna set my makeup real quick. if you're new, you're getting into makeup just now, try some Wet n Wild. It's not expensive. You won't have to break the bank, and they'll have everything you need. I actually like the Dewy foundation, believe it or not, even though I'm an oily girl, but of course that's all relative. It just depends on your preference, what you like. So, you know, it wears really well, as you know, I've found wearing it to work and stuff, it does actually wear quite well. So that is my take on Wet n Wild, and I hope you enjoyed. I hope that gave you a little bit of insight. Check out the website of Wet n Wild before you go to the store. Of course, you know, not a lot of us are going to the store these days anyway, but Wet n Wild's website had a lot of great deals, and also Ulta.com had a lot of great deals as well, so check that out. But thank you so much. I appreciate you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.